If you haven't listened to any of my other recordings, it might be best if you try listening to the one called Things You Can't Unknow. That recording kind of gives you the gist of what is occurring on this planet. And then it should make sense as to why I've been doing these recordings on my channel. And if you read the About section, I give you, there is a description of what has been forced on me. A brief description. And of course, the other recordings, if you choose to listen. Now, the first one, Things You Can't Unknow, that pretty much is the disclaimer as well. So please make sure that you're okay or in agreement with hearing things that you can't unknow. All right. I do use expletives liberally. If that offends you, this is not the channel for you. I'm not responsible for your mental health, mental breakdowns, existential crises, religious meltdowns, trips to the psych ward, or seizures on the floor. I'm not responsible for any of that fucking noise. So right off, at least now you know whether you're going to stay or go. So continuing forward, the ones forcibly monitoring me spend quite a bit of time obstructing and sabotaging and raping and doing all kinds of nasty, abhorrent things. And I have over 100 videos that I've had to make private due to there's a real dickhead on YouTube called Burger Boy. And he decided that he was going to rape videos from my channel and then splice them and dice them and try and do mockeries of them in short clips. Now, when I upload a video, I always make the selection to forego any kind of remixing or embedding. And I've recently, in the recent days, making these new recordings, once I've uploaded a video and I've marked all the choices, there are a couple that I've gone back to and have seen in where the choices have been changed, and not by me. The level of interference that is going on in the goings-on of my life are just ridiculous. And the fact that they're not people, they're entities. Some are in human vessels, some are possessed human vessels with demons in there that spend their time trying to obstruct true benevolent spiritual beings from trying to evolve and move forward in their evolution process. So unfortunately, there are individuals, entities in human vessels that spend their time trying to sabotage and rape and interfere. So what I'm getting at, the point I'm trying to make, is that during the course of the last few hours, I have tried to make some comments. There's a specific comment that I wrote out. It wasn't very long. It included a link and a brief description. And I went to YouTube and I picked the topic of interest, that I wanted to go to certain channels and or certain videos and leave my link there with the brief description. And I did that with about 10 or 15 videos. Now, I had to go back a few videos to check something with regards to the comment that I left, and realized and found that the comment had already been deleted. This was in a span of 5 minutes. So I made the comment again, and I checked the other videos that I had left the same comment on. The comments had already been deleted, which means now I know that my electronics, most of them, if not all, are hacked. It's unfortunate. You wouldn't think that anybody would concern themselves with my goings-on because of what's being forced on me, and for the reasons those things are being forced on me. There are entities and human vessels that spend their time moderating my activities online. So if I go to leave comments or do anything really online, basically I'm fucked with. There's sabotage, there's deletion, there's rape, there's just fuckery, right? There's just overall fuckery and interference. So all of those videos that I had left my comment on are now gone. And every time I tried to repost my comment and would go back to it like a minute later, they would be gone. So clearly there are some demons that are very pissy. Oh my gosh, demons just get so pissy. They do. They just get super uber pissy if things aren't going their way. So and you know, demons really don't have jobs. If the human vessels that they're in have jobs, believe me, when I say that they make time to do their demon shit. So they do. But it's unfortunate, and I pretty much, for the most part, don't have too much hope. I hate to be a doom and gloom kind of a, perception, but with the amount of fuckery and manipulation and sabotage and interference, and with so many demons and human vessels walking around, and a lot of them are clones. You know, a lot of real humans have already been swapped out with a clone, and then you've got a bunch of reptilian hybrids in human vessels doing their demon shit, right? They're pretty much a demon, we call them reptilians, but they do demon shit, right? Like, you might as well just, call them for what they are. And it's unfortunate. They're real pissy. That there are some things that aren't going their way. And yeah, I apologize for the noise. I'm on a busy street again. Unfortunately, sometimes I have to leave the house in order to make recordings. So anyways, apologize for the noise. I'll just have to do the best I can. I do have the volume cranked up all the way, just so you're aware. Now, like I said, that the demons are super pissy about certain things not going their way. And, there's like, I don't know if there's anything really worse than an uber, super duper pissy demon throwing a fit, throwing a temper tantrum. Like, they're worse than a fucking autistic 2-year-old. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I'm not. Those demons, man. when they don't get their way and they start throwing a temper tantrum, Jesus Christ, they really, they really go all out. They do. They do. So, unfortunately, that information that I've tried to leave for others have been deleted, and clearly they're doing a lot more moderating of comments that I leave at this juncture than they were like 2 weeks ago. So I don't even know if my videos are even getting out there or even being listened to. And if they are being listened to by others, are those others demons, right? Like the ones on my channel, like I'm not sure if they're actually real humans or they're just perps, right? They're just there to sabotage and fuck with and do their fuckery. So it's hard to know. It is, because it's not like they're gonna send you a memo. So I don't know if the ones there is a small view count on most of my recordings. I don't know. Again, I don't know if those are real humans or those are demons just fucking around. So it's hard to even, and because YouTube screws with the view count and the subs and all of that, I have no idea about how many subs there really are that are truly human, and what the true view count of the recordings that I've done is. I have no idea. Either way, I have to express myself, so that's what I'm doing. And if hopefully there's some true humans out there that are able to hear it, and if not, well, I didn't invite them, right? I didn't invite them, so they're not allowed on my channel. They're not allowed to even be anywhere near me or connected to me. They don't have my consent, and I've been revoking my consent every day, all day, for over 10 years. They're well aware that they don't have my consent for anything. So the problem is so many of the demons and the reptilians or demon whores, whatever you want to call them, parasitic whores, they all have hearing problems, right? They all have hearing problems, and not too many of them understand fucking English, right? They don't, like, some of the basics that a 5-year-old would understand, like things like stop, things like no, cease and desist. Those are words that they just can't. They're the quarter of a fly's brain cell that they share among them is just not able to grasp the meaning of certain English words. So I don't know what's going on there, if they're just too retarded or too far gone in there, or licking Lucifer's butthole. I really don't know, but something is getting in the way of them understanding basic words. So it's unfortunate. It is, because it makes it real hard to do certain things. And it's not like you can hold their hand, hold their widow demon hands, and help them to understand what certain words mean, because they're just never going to get it. They're just not. Like, after 10 years, every day, all day, you do get to a point where you realize they are just fucking dumb as fuck. Yeah, and there's just no point. There's just no point. I mean, I would have an easier time, as I said, or alluded to a minute ago, trying to teach a 2-year-old autistic child those words than trying to teach a demon whore in a human vessel those words. So it's unfortunate, like I said. Now, moving on, I'm still going to do recordings as I see fit, right? I am. And the demons are going to continue to throw their little temper tantrums and scream and bitch and moan and whine. And cry and, you know, throw their little fits on the floor and stomp their widow feet, right? So there's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. I mean, you wish you could just fucking spank them real hard, which means is more like whacking them real hard with a big axe or a sledgehammer or something, or a mallet of some kind, or putting their heads in under like a sewing machine. I don't know. Like, I could get real creative with it. Yeah, I could. And unfortunately, it doesn't really translate or transfer into physical reality. And so I'm going to continue forward, and I'm going to carry on moving forward as I have been. But I did want to mention that unfortunately I do try to leave certain comments with links to help inform others of what's being forced on this planet, and the ones forcing the shit show that we're all being forced to experience here. Let's see, what else did I want to mention in this recording? Yeah, I think it's at a point where, you know, there are certain moments that I'll like read something or hear something, and it'll spark the tiniest of little seeds of hope, right? That humanity, or a portion or a percentage of humanity, is just gonna, you know, all of a sudden have an epiphany and wake up, and then you know, you get kind of thrust back into having to deal with demon temper tantrums, and you know, it kind of really fucks with the mood. You know what I mean? It really kind of puts a damper on the mood. So yeah, that part really sucks. Humans really aren't, but what, you know, everything that humans do on this planet currently, we shouldn't really be doing. We shouldn't have to pay to live on the planet that you were born on. You shouldn't have to pay for the food that you have to eat to sustain your own being on the planet that you were born on. Things of that nature. Like, there's a lot of things that humans shouldn't be being forced to do. It's all been forcibly manufactured and done by demons, you know, walking around in human vessels. And then there's human vessels that are maybe not quite demons, but they're psychopaths and sociopaths, and they're possessed. And what it is they're enamored. And I don't understand that at all. But they're enamored with dead parasitic entities, and follow them around like little puppy dogs. They do. They just follow. They seem to follow demons who are not in form. They're not in physical form, by the way. But these psychopaths and sociopaths and what have you seem to just really are so enamored with these dead parasites that they follow them around like little puppy dogs. And you just can't, you know, you try to tell them, and they're just not, like I said, they can't understand the meanings of even basic words. So it's, you know, it's pointless to try and explain anything to them. It's like, you know, you're going to have better luck talking to a brick wall. You are. Probably get more of a response too, which is sad. But anyways, they got all of their thong panties in a bunch, and they're all screaming and throwing little fits on the floor, and wow, they just, like I said, they're worse than a little girl sewing circle. Seriously. Wow. Like, the worst teenage clique you could find in a high school. Like, They're a gazillion times worse than that. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Do you see what you're working with? Yeah. So, unfortunately, you really don't get anywhere with those ones. They're too busy licking at Lucifer's butthole to be, really focused on anything else. They're just so busy with that. That keeps them busy most of their time. With the, except with the exception of when they're manipulating and trying to rape and torture and murder and sabotage and do all that they do to the ones that they're uh, freaking out about. So, it makes things real challenging here on the planet for humans to get to a point where we're actually doing what we should be doing, and that's operating out of love and radiating love and assisting others in reaching their highest potential, in being the best selves, the best, highest and best self that they can be, and being encouraging and positive to others and helping them, like I said, be their best selves, and just overall creating, being able to create and manifest things in joy and in love, and manifesting things and being happy and creating things and creating things for others, and just being happy, right? Creating, living a full, happy life, full of joy and love and happiness, and creating and helping others to do the same, and holding very high frequencies and vibrations and radiating those outward into creation, and helping others maybe far away do the same. Like, do you see what can you see where I'm going with that? So those are the things that humans should be doing. Unfortunately, you've got psychotic, very psychotic, gender confused demons who are just really unhappy with their dead status, right? Because they're dead parasites. They're just really super unhappy with their dead status. Well, that's not my problem, and that's not my fault. Like, I didn't have anything to do with that. That was all them. So that's their fucking problem, not mine. I didn't, that had nothing to do with me. So they need to focus more on their massive amount of fear, trauma, pain, and harm that they're going to fucking burn with. I'm just saying, they really need to spend a bit more time focusing on themselves. Technically, I guess that they do. I guess they do technically focus on themselves. They're just not doing anything about it. What they're trying to do is force that shit on true benevolent beings who are actually alive. Yeah. We're actually alive, whores. So I'm just saying, like I said, they're super uber pissy about some things. And they need to spend more time maybe finding a therapist or a psychiatrist, or finding a high window and taking that first step, right? That first step would be probably the most healing thing that they could do for themselves, really. Anyways, so I'm going to carry on and continue forward regardless. So kind of the point I wanted to get to, though, there doesn't really seem to be too many true humans, though, left here on this planet, on this parasitic shit show of a farm planet. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So I would say kind of my main point in doing this recording is to really, if there is any true humans left out there that even happen upon this and listen to it, I would say at this juncture, do what you can to fucking save yourselves, right? Uh, I mean, universal laws need to be enforced in the quickest, most expedient way. That was redundant. Most expedient way possible, immediately, like 10,000 years ago, right? Universal laws need to be enforced here fucking immediately. That would incinerate pretty much most, if not all, of the malevolence, the dead parasites that are here, right? Because they're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be in manifested creation with live vibrating beings. They just didn't make that trip, that full round trip to entropy. They got waylaid, right? They got sidetracked. And then they ended up hanging out in manifested creation, parasiting and parasitizing off living vibrating beings. And they've been trying to make it a fucking party ever since, is what I'm saying. So they're confused. They are. They're very fucking confused. And they need to be forcibly put back in their right place, which is entropy. That's where dead parasites go, is entropy. Because they're already dead. Because they're parasites. So we just need to get them over to entropy, put them in the right place, and then they can stop, number one, making an absolute fucking mess out of the universe, and they can stop bothering the rest of us with their Lucifer butthole licking and sabotage and raping and murdering and torturing. You know, they could stop bothering the living with all of that noise, because that just doesn't, that has really no place. All of that nastiness really just doesn't have any place here in manifested creation. It doesn't. So again, my solution, or one of the solutions that I can see, is for more benevolent beings who are alive, right? We're vibrating, we're alive, to be moving them to universal laws and or straight to entropy as a group. Like, those of us come together in a group, those of us benevolent beings, and then we come together in a group, and then we be moving the parasitic infection, the dead parasites, directly to entropy, devoid of their clones, devoid of magic and devoid of technology, devoid of regression and obstruction. That's where we, the benevolent beings who are left here, that's what we need to be doing. We really need to be focused on that task. We do. Because they're just really fucking making a mess of things. They have been, and they're still doing it. And they're, just need to get them out of here. They don't belong here. They don't belong in, along with the living. That's not, they need to go to their right place. And don't worry, they're dead already. Don't worry, they're going to be happy in their right place. They'll be perfectly happy in entropy. They're making a mess because they're full of their, all the nasty that they didn't heal, that they couldn't reconcile, that they couldn't deal with, right? So now they're dead. Now they're dead entities, and like I said, they got waylaid. They got sidetracked, or whatever the fuck happened way back in the day. We need to get them back on track. We need to get them back on track over to entropy over there, and then they won't be vibrating like they shouldn't be, and they'll be quiet. They won't be moving around. There's no vibration there. There's no way for them to get vibration there because it's entropy. So they'll feel much better when they're in their right place, not freaking out about things and throwing temper tantrums everywhere and trying to rape and torture and they won't be doing that. They'll be devoid of vibration, and they'll be still and not moving around as they should be, because they're fucking dead. So, like I said, we just really, if there's any benevolent humans out there, we really need to be focused on that task. We do. And all these other supposedly benevolent races out there who are claiming to be assisting humanity, if you just spend about 15 minutes like analyzing what's coming out of their orifices, both sides of their mouth, and realize that they're stating the same stuff that they were stating 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? The same shit's coming out of their vomit holes. And, it's their spiel, right? It's their spiel. That's their little song and dance. That's what they do to continue conning and deceiving humans into thinking it's all their fault, right? Like they give like a bunch of love and light stuff, right? But then on the other side of that coin, they're basically blaming humanity for not being able to, get it together. Basically, is what that is. So that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit, because we know there's a bunch of dead parasites here that shouldn't be here, that have been massively fucking shit up for a long time. And interfering and sabotaging and torturing and raping and murdering and just being all up in humanity's stuff and business where they shouldn't be. Like, they've been fucking shit up. So it's not our fault. It's not humanity's fault. It's, you got some fucking dead parasites running amok that shouldn't be. And like I said, those other supposed benevolent beings running their lip service vomit, you just gotta make sure you're reading between the lines with that. Yeah, you do. Just realize that they're blowing smoke up your ass. That's what you got to do, right? You just got to realize, read between some lines, and realize they're blowing smoke, and because they think you're dumb, and that, because they've been using that con and deception tactic for a long time. They've used it in prior civilizations. It must have worked back in the day, because they're still using the same spiel. Trying to just keep you dangling, keep that carrot, right? They keep dangling the carrot, and they keep blaming you. So you have to just realize that what's coming out of their vomit holes is cognitive dissonance, right? It's contradiction. It's lies. You just have to realize that what's actually coming out of their vomit holes, and then take a step back and be like, I don't really want to dance to that tune. I don't like that music. That music sucks, and I think you're full of shit, and trying to pass one over on humanity again, while the entire time they're benefiting off of what they've what's being raped and tortured and murdered from humanity indirectly, right? That you got some demons actually here in invading and possessing human vessels, doing the dirty, and then they're on the other side of it, pretending they're good cop, right? They're over there, up there in the air, wherever the fuck it is they're at, pretending they're good cop, right? That they're on your side. While the whole entire time they're not. Do they ever really help? No, right? They dangle a carrot, and they fill you with full of hopium, and then they make you think it's all your fault, right? Like, you just gotta take a step back and really look at what's occurring there for what it is, right? Stop being fooled and conned by them. It's just read between the lines and see that shit for what it is, right? It's lies, cons, and deceptions. And that's their way of trying to keep you on the hook, right? Keep you praying to them and on your knees to them, and just asking for them to assist you, and but by the time they do assist you, they're expecting something in return, right? Like some of your energy, your consent, right? They're not doing that shit for free. Like, they pretend that they are, but when it comes right down to it, they're they're expecting something in return. They are. And they want your prayers, and they want your reverence, and they want your automatic respect, even though they've done fucking nothing and they haven't really protected you from anything, and they're not really helping here. No physical manifested form of assistance has actually been manifested here by them. Not at all. But they have a lot of humans fooled. They do, probably because humans are just so traumatized that they're grasping for anything. They're grasping for any kind of hope, any kind of happiness, any kind of reprieve from this parasitic fucking shit show. Because deep down inside, on a subconscious and unconscious level, humans know that they're being raped of their stuff. And humans know that we should be already existing and residing in higher dimensions, embodying our fullest and highest selves. And we've been being raped by dead parasites who shouldn't fucking be here. And it needs to fucking stop. They need to go to entropy fucking immediately. And we need some humans that can find their balls and come together in a group and be doing this, moving them by force to entropy where they fucking belong. Because obviously they're not gonna mosey on over to entropy on their own, right? Because they're too busy fucking screaming and trying to live it up on the smorgasbord that they've turned humanity, or tried to turn humanity into. They've been using humanity as a all-you-can-eat buffet. And it needs to fucking stop. And I have a very strong, sick feeling that they've been doing this for so long that I think the higher dimensions, or at least some of them, might have already been fucking compromised. Because they've been doing a lot of frequency hacking with frequency weaponry. And doing a lot of nasty things with frequency weaponry in combination with astral realms and artificial realities in the AI system. So there's some massive fuckery going on. And I don't know, I'm kind of getting a not so good feeling about some of these higher dimensions that might be populated with beings who shouldn't be there. That's for sure. And they're not beings at that point. They're fucking parasitic dead entities. But some of these higher dimensions might actually now be populated with dead parasites. And they've done some nasty business in connecting like artificial realities and astral realms to the third dimension with the AI system. And they're basically forcibly raping and siphoning off of humans in order to stay where they're at, in order to keep their in order to try and stay in those higher dimensions. Like they've been feeding off of humanity and raping humanity of their frequencies and vibrations and energies and just things that they shouldn't be raping, I'll just say. I don't even want to give voice to it. But let's just say that they've been raping some things that don't belong to that they shouldn't be raping. And they've been using those things, I think, and like, I hope I'm wrong, but it seems like they've been using those things to try and keep themselves in places that they shouldn't be. Yeah. So I think that needs to be addressed. If that's really going on, that has bigger implications. Very bigger implications, but a lot fucking nastier implications. It sure does. And I think that really needs to be looked at and addressed, and we need to get to the truth of what's going on right there. We sure do. Because that's some nasty business there. It sure is. That shouldn't be going on. And if that is going on, like I said, there are some a lot bigger implications and indications about that are even nastier to look at. So I'm just saying, personally, I don't have real good vibes about this planet, about higher dimensions, or this universe for that matter. I've already stated in one of the other recordings how I truly, my conclusions, my recent conclusions about the universe itself, which aren't warm and fuzzy. And those are conclusions that I didn't want to come to, for sure. But I've come to those conclusions, and it's painting a really ugly, very nasty, horrific picture of the bigger goings on in this universe. So I'm just saying, who wants to be coming to those kinds of conclusions, really? But seeing as how I've already come to those conclusions, for me personally, I'm at a place now where I'm at that what to do about it place, right? That's where I'm at. I'm at that place called what to do about it. And I've been trying to think of some solutions and think about what to do about it. Unfortunately, others have not yet come to that same place. So it makes it real hard to try and fill others in about some things, or at least try and try and get others to even look at some of those conclusions. Yeah. Even though all they have to do is just open their eyeballs and take a look around at the current state of things. And unfortunately, the conclusions that I've come to aren't too far from the current state of things, really. So it's unfortunate. It is. I'm going to take a quick drink here. So, yeah, those are some things I just kind of wanted to go over and state those in case there's any other true benevolent being that's alive and listening, just in case. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add. Oh yeah, back to the kind of the beginning here. We're going to circle back. And no, I'm not Jen Psaki or whatever her name is. But I think at this juncture, every true benevolent being that's alive needs to be really taking stock of where they're at and how they feel about things and the current goings on the planet, and really start to try and figure out what it is they're going to do. If you're going to submit, if you're going to fight, if you're going to try and really delve deeper and try to figure out really what the fuck is going on. Start asking, some bigger questions, harder logical questions to some beings, and start demanding the universe itself enforce universal laws immediately, permanently on this planet, devoid of sabotage and obstruction and regression. And you have to, I think it's a good time to really think about trying to find a way out of here. Let's just say, just in case some of my conclusions are actually correct, right? If my conclusions are correct, you're gonna really be wanting to find a way off of this planet, number one, and out of this fucking universe, number two, if my conclusions are correct. So you should really take a hard, serious look at some things, take stock of where you're at and where you're wanting to go, right? If you're gonna submit or if you're gonna fight, right? You're gonna have to pick one or the other. You can't really do both, I don't think. Again, that would be cognitive dissonance or contradiction. You don't want to, that's not going to get you anywhere. So you're going to have to kind of make a choice about which direction you want to go, and start making a plan that you can implement, right? And either start screaming to the universe that the universe itself needs to be enforcing universal laws, again, devoid of all regression, sabotage, and fuckery, and obstruction, right? We need all of the parasitic infection just needs to be moved to entropy. So we also need to be demanding assistance in moving the parasitic infection to entropy, devoid of all harm to benevolent beings. And, well, there's always got to be somebody that pulls right up, like it's an empty parking lot, the businesses are closed, but they got to pull it right up next to me. It's always, yeah, wow. Anyways, moving on. And maybe if there's certain groups that you're working with, maybe get with those groups and start asking some really hard, logical, critical questions of those groups, right? Really start trying to pin them down and get some definitive answers. So that way you can then make your plan, right? Then you can come up with your own exit plan or your own plan to how you're going to move forward in this shit show, right? Like, I'm just saying, it's good to be prepared. It's good to be prepared. So I'm just saying, now is probably a good time for you to really take the necessary steps to start really getting prepared and start getting a plan together, and then starting to implement that plan. Because, wow, I'm not really seeing too many alive, benevolent beings here. I'm not really seeing them. So that's concerning. It's very concerning. I'm just saying, something to be aware of, right? So now's a good time to be doing that, and it would be nice if we could benevolent beings could come together in a group here and really be just taking it upon ourselves, removing the parasitic infection from this planet ourselves, directly to entropy, because that's where they need to be. That's their right place. That's their home. We just need to get them home where they belong. They'll be happy there. Don't worry. They're already dead, so they'll be perfectly happy in entropy. That's like I said, they just got waylaid. They just got sidetracked. We just need to get them where they need to be. And it'd be great if we could come together as a group and do that. It would be great if we could come together and do something about the frequency fence around this planet. Get it, like, use our collective abilities, like come together and be figuring out a plan to use what we have within us to effectively deal with the frequency fence, because that is what they are using to obstruct and regress universal laws. And they're doing some nasty other abhorrent things with it, but we really need to get this whole frequency fence business dealt with. That way we can the result of that will just automatically, organically be the enforcement of universal laws here, as it should be. And then we might not have to move them ourselves. If we could just deal with the frequency fence, then universal laws then becomes enforced here, and universal laws just does what universal laws does. That's going to be the best way forward. But there are other ways to go about it. It's just, that's more of a direct way. So I think it's people really need to, any true benevolent beings who are alive, that I guess that is kind of redundant. So any true benevolent beings need to start coming together in groups or having discussions, Saturday night discussions. Screw the Netflix, get rid of the Netflix, and just start having some Saturday night discussions, maybe over some wine, about the frequency fence and what's to be done about it, and moving the parasitic infection to entropy to their right place, and getting that done, because I'm sure there, all the benevolent beings who are left really would like to be able to move forward, right? We need to be moving forward in our evolution, and we need to be moving forward in going about our higher vibration and frequency activities. We can't be holding demons' hands anymore, right? We can't be holding parasites' hands anymore. Not that we have been, really, but do you get what I'm saying? We can't be dicking around with dead parasites. We need to get this wrapped up. And I'm not really seeing any true benevolent force intervene as of yet. Now, maybe there will be at some point. I don't know, but I'm not really content to just sit around and wait for some benevolent force to fucking step in and intervene when that benevolent force should have fucking done that 10,000 years ago. So, and seeing as how if some of my other conclusions are correct, and if some of these higher dimensions have already been hijacked and kind of taken over or what have you, or populated with malevolence, I'm not really seeing any opportunities for true benevolent beings from other dimensions jumping in to assist. So I'm just saying, those are some things to think about, and I think that we should be thinking about those things quickly and coming up with solutions quickly and trying to come together in a group with other benevolent beings to do this. Since we know that the demons spend their time torturing, raping, and murdering. I think it's probably now's a really good time to start coming together as a group. We would be stronger in a group. So, and I don't consent for any part of my being that I am expressing in this recording and or in any of my other recordings on this channel to be raped from me in any way, shape, or form on any level, dimension, or timeline of my being. There shouldn't be any malevolence on my channel to begin with, but I most certainly don't consent and have been for any malevolent entities or beings or demons, well, they're not beings, any entities or demons or parasites to be trying to rape anything from my videos, which includes any part of my being. You don't have my consent, and I will pull it back. So I think I'll get this wrapped up. Almost another hour-long video. Well, that's just how it goes. And those are, I think there's a lot of things there that need to be pondered on and contemplated, and some decisions need to be made, and some exit plans need to be hatched and or come up with, or realized, I should say. That's a better word, realized, and implemented. And then the quicker we can do that, I think the better off all the benevolent beings are gonna be. So, all right, well, take care of yourselves and those you love, and until next time.